Jaguar Wright has just revealed the people Jada was involved with while married to Will Smith, and how she still compares Will to Tupac even after nearly 30 years. Will's marriage to Jada, along with their choice to allow other men into their relationship, is now being viewed very differently. Why does Will Smith remain with Jada? Will things ever improve for him?
You know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Don't. No, because she don't just...
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused in one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch Esther.
Will and Jada got married less than a year after Jada's self-described true love, Tupac, passed away. From the start of their marriage, Jada often felt that Will didn't measure up. She even said several times that she never really wanted to marry him. In a 2019 interview with People magazine, Jada said, "I never wanted to get married, but my mother was like, you have to get married." She's very traditional. Will wanted a family, so she said, "All right, maybe it's something I should do." Even after they were married, Jada kept bringing up Tupac, and in one interview she called him the greatest man she had ever met. She also shared a story about how Tupac had proposed to her before he died, and admitted she never truly planned to marry Will or even liked him that much. Most people who heard this reacted the same way. Why does Jada speak this way about her husband, while praising someone who passed away decades ago?
I mean, Tupac has been dead for about 27 years, so if this proposal did take place, and I'm not trying to doubt my sister at all, but if the proposal did take place, you're talking 30 or more years or so ago. Why is that coming up now? To me, the only reason why I could think that she would bring that up is it's possible that Will might harbor some insecurities over her relationship with Tupac, and she probably felt that that is one of the few things she could bring up to actually get under Will's skin. Because when you look at achievements, Tupac will be probably one of the only rappers who could rival Will in terms of overall success. Now, of course, Will doesn't have the hip-hop success, of many rappers, but when you add in his acting and what he has done on the big screen, there's not many people who can compete with his body of work. Tupac would be one of them because he was also an actor. And had he not been taken from us, who knows how many box office hits Tupac would have had.
For most people, hearing your wife call you a downgrade and constantly talk about an ex would be one of the worst experiences of your life. Unfortunately for Will Smith, that was only the beginning. In 2011, while Jada was working on Hawthorne, a medical drama with co-star Mark Anthony, rumors started spreading that she was having an affair with him. At the time, Mark was married to Jennifer Lopez, and both he and Jada denied the claims. Call it coincidence, but months later, Jennifer Lopez divorced Mark. Many fans took this as proof that something had happened and expected Will to leave Jada. But instead of ending the marriage, in 2013, Jada said, "Here's how I'll put it. Will and I can both do whatever we want because we trust each other. That doesn't mean we have an open relationship. It means we have a mature one." Fans saw this as Will staying despite the rumors and possibly being pushed into accepting that situation. Brother Bilal, who was Will's close friend at the time, later supported this view.
So let's go back to the other story of Jada stepping out. So, and this has already been out there, but I can confirm it. So when they did Hawthorne, Jada starred Mark Anthony, who is J-Lo's husband, right? They did a TV show called Hawthorne.
Is that why they divorced?
So
Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony.
Yeah. So so let me go a little bit.
Okay,
deeper.
go ahead.
Let's go a little bit deeper. So this is a full-on relationship on the set, like romantic relationship. Not okay. I just gave him some and that's it. Like it's a relationship. So, you know, Will hears about this and kind of devastated. At this point, this is where you see all the papers are going crazy. A divorce is imminent and so forth and so on. The final straw is when Will came home and caught Jada, King Mark Anthony on the couch at their home, right? And this devastated Will, right? I even had a conversation when Will wanted to kill himself.
Most fans couldn't believe that Will, one of the most successful actors ever, was okay with being cheated on multiple times, and many felt he was being pushed to accept an open relationship. Will even spoke about this in his memoir. In an interview with Oprah, he said he and Jada didn't have an open relationship, but instead loved each other with freedom.
We never actually, officially separated. We agreed that she had to make herself happy, and I had to make myself happy. And then we were going to present ourselves back to the relationship.
Both Will and Jada tried to present it as something different, but many people felt it was clear what freedom really meant. Over time, videos of the Smith family made fans more concerned, with many saying Will looked unhappy. Then, in 2023, Jada released her memoir Worthy, where she admitted to being unfaithful multiple times. When Will confronted her on Red Table Talk, she even shifted the blame onto him.
As promised, Jada Pinkett Smith brought herself to the red table, and surprisingly, her husband Will Smith joined her. They talked about pain, healing, and yes, Jada's entanglement with August Alsina.
It's all love.
Recently, Alsina revealed to the world that he was involved in a relationship with Jada while she was still married. And even though statements were released denying the affair, Pinkett Smith is now reluctantly confirming that the relationship did indeed exist.
It's a situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's business. But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
During the 12-minute Red Table Talk episode, Jada sat down with Will to explain how she met August 4.5 years ago. But the friendship didn't turn into something more until she and Will were ready to call it quits.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we broke up.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, you know, I think from there, you know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
Yes, we know entanglement is vague as hell, but thankfully, Will pressed her to be more clear.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship, absolutely.
We also got clarity on the misconception that Will gave August permission to sleep with his wife.
The only person that could give permission in that particular circumstance is myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission, because we were separated amicably. Yeah. And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker.
Now, if you're like us, you're probably wondering why August? Well, we'll let Jada explain it.
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good. And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Jada later said she had been dealing with personal struggles, which she claimed made it hard for her to stay loyal to Will. She explained that she wanted to focus on her own happiness, even if it meant hurting the relationship. According to Jada, no one, not even a husband, should stand in the way of personal happiness. Will eventually agreed to her seeing other men, and one source claimed he told her she could do what she wanted as long as he was aware of it.
Well, here's the thing. When they're together, Will's comfortable with that. Will's comfortable with someone's wife when he's there. Is when he's not there is the insecurities, because I can't tell you why, but I can tell you that there's a comfortability when men and women come in to have with them. Will's fine with that. So when this happened, like, Will kind of went crazy. You know, they would talk about the divorce rumors and so forth and so on. It was big crisis management. Many people tell you Will was driving around California. I mean, just he's gone. He brought Dwayne a club called Zen Lounge, and Will would come in there and just be drinking and like just this wasn't the Will.
Will is willing to do whatever it takes to keep Jada by his side, even if it means being criticized by the entire industry. Jada also tried to present their relationship as an open marriage, even calling it a transparent marriage. But it doesn't take much to understand what that really implies.
Everybody talks about you all the time.
Right.
You know, just lots of rumors and tabloids and all of that. And you're very careful in the book, not in a whiny way or whatever. Let me clarify this.
Right.
Let me clarify these things that have been said. And one of the things that you are careful to clarify is it was never an open relationship.
Yes, it was.
It was a transparent. You say it's a transparent relationship. And what do you mean by that?
So transparent meaning, look, I wasn't gonna fool myself into thinking that we as 20-some-year-olds, babies, mind you, getting married and living in Tinseltown, spending a lot of time apart, okay, that we weren't gonna run into temptation situations.
You're young, beautiful, rich, temptation.
Right.
You're apart a lot. Temptation is raining down.
Right,
on you.
exactly, yeah. Right? And I'm like, hey, we gotta be in partnership with this. Like, I wanted to face it head on and just go, I didn't want to create a culture of deceit or betrayal between us. And I just wanted to be real about it from the gate. I had seen so much just with, I knew what street fame brought dudes, okay? I knew what street fame brought, and I'm like, if street fame does that, I can only imagine what global fame does. And from me, my own experience walking into rooms, all eyes on me, and how intoxicating that was as a young woman. You know what I mean? It's like I had been there and done that, you know, in regards to my earlier years before I met Will. But I just knew that I just wasn't gonna set myself up that way. But it was never an open marriage, you know, and like either one of us get to do whatever we want to do. That was never the case.
As you say in the book, it's about eliminating the possibility of betrayal.
Yeah.
If something happens or you want it to happen, talk about it.
Absolutely.
Which is the healthiest way to go in.
Listen.
Because it happens to everybody.
Listen, if you expect to be with somebody forever, it's like, let's get real with it from the gate.
Jada referred to her relationships with other men as entanglements. When Will heard her openly talk about it and say he couldn't make her happy, he became emotional on camera. If that doesn't show how complicated their situation was, it's hard to say what does. Jada reportedly affected Will deeply, to the point where he later said in interviews that no one could truly make his wife happy.
The GOAT relationship advice for me is that it's impossible to make a person happy. Don't even play the game, and don't try to have a person make you happy. That you have to discover your happiness and cultivate your happiness on your own, and they have to cultivate theirs on their own, and you come together sharing the happiness you have versus trying to get happiness from them. That was a big one for me, like the retirement from trying to make people happy. And all my relationships got that.
Some fans point to Jada's repeated lack of respect for Will, and how she often uses her platform to share their private issues as signs that the relationship feels one-sided. Beyond the entanglements, Jada has also been open about her struggles with different addictions, which she discussed on Red Table Talk. She described these habits as a way of filling an emotional void, which added more strain to her marriage with Will. The most uncomfortable part for many viewers was that she shared these moments while her daughter sat right beside her. Jada even laughed while talking about cheating and her addictions, while Willow sat there visibly uneasy.
Have you ever had an addiction? Yes, I've had several.
Jada Pinkett Smith opens up about her struggles with addiction.
I'm hoping that it will give people the freedom also in their lives to find their truth.
The 46-year-old actress got extremely candid on the latest episode of her hit Facebook Watch series, Red Table Talk, where she revealed her addiction to sex.
My sort of addictions jump. They jump around. When I was younger, I definitely think I had a addiction of some kind. Yes, that everything could be fixed by.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or
It's
the thing,
behavior.
it's the behavior that's attached to it. Because if you want to have a lot of, that's great, but why are you having all that? That's what you gotta look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wasn't the only obstacle she's faced.
I became a gym addict. I was just in the gym constantly, and then I remember reaching a rock bottom. That time I was in the house by myself, and I had those 2 bottles of wine and was going for the 3rd bottle, and it was like, now hold up. You in this house by yourself going on to your 3rd
That's gangster.
bottle of wine. You
What's
might
going
have
on?
a problem.
Jada says she was able to combat the issues herself.
I went cold turkey. That's the thing about me. I can go cold turkey.
Yeah.
I am a binger, and I always have to watch myself and just how I can get just obsessed with things. And, you know, it's not what you're doing, but how you're with it.
Jada was also accused of going beyond just talking about inappropriate behavior while sitting next to Willow. According to Jaguar Wright, Willow was deeply affected by how Jada treated her father, and at just 12 years old, she even wrote a letter to Tupac asking him to come back so her mother could be happy. That letter says a lot about what may have been happening inside the Smith household. Even at that age, Willow seemed to feel that Will could never truly make Jada happy.
You think about it, what 12-year-old kid would write a letter to their mother's former love who passed away and said, please come back so my mommy can be happy? Like, did anybody ever really talk about that? It was said and people just gloss right over it. That was a huge red flag for a kid.
That is.
Like, when they talk about it and they say it, you know, so politically correct, it lands different. But if you say it how it actually is, like really, how it actually is, wow. Your kid had to cut her hair off.
Moving to what was happening inside their home, Jadon and Willow were reportedly exposed to adult content at a very young age, and some people blame Jada for this. Brother Bill claimed he witnessed it himself while visiting Will Smith's house. He alleged that Jada would play such content openly in the home while the children were present. Some of those videos were even said to involve her and Will. For many, the idea of children being exposed to that kind of material is deeply troubling.
You know, about the they were doing allegedly to certain people and all that. And I told you that Jada was addicted to. So how Jada would watch at the house is she had her laptop, she would stick her hard drive in, right? Boom, and hook it up to the TV. And she could play whatever video she watching. So now, I'm seeing videos of her and Will and a bunch of some celebrities, everything. Because remember, the last interview I told you, if you don't sue me, I'm gonna let people know who you've been hitting with them. I don't know, you remember that, but I remember, your wino's gonna remember it. And I said, if you don't sue, I'm gonna sue. So I told you, being Muslim, whatever I say I'm gonna do, that's what I'm gonna do, period. And I gotta have evidence. So we not playing, that's why they didn't sue. So back to these discs with all these, this self-homemade on it or whatever, okay? Somebody stole 2 hard drives from Jada's house with this alleged on it, right? Jada thought, so now we get into why she's even more mad. So Jada thought, I have something to do with the disc being stolen, right? And one thing that they allegedly did was report it stolen. So whoever comes out with this video or tape or anything have stolen property. They're going to jail, right? Okay, now, that's why me and Jada's relationship got to be so toxic towards the end because she thought I stole these videos. So they're
videos of
her with other people. But I saw some of the video. Mind you, when Jada at the house.
Was any of them allegedly MC Light?
Yes.
I just said that was just
why didn't you let me say that?
That was just my own opinion.
Come on, Ty,
I had no dog in this fight.
Oh,
But I
goodness.
always felt like, in my opinion, that her and MC Light kind of had something going on, and they used men, Will and MC Light's husband, to cover it up.
So.
And then we had a lady that came to sit on the show that said she saw MC Light and Jada at a known gay club for lesbians.
Every parent would be shocked to learn their child was exposed to that kind of material at such a young age. But according to these claims, Jada didn't seem concerned and even appeared to support it. In the same episode, she reportedly told her mother, who is Willow's grandmother, and Willow herself, that she would be open to showing them the kind of content she watches. Jada also admitted that she had struggled with an addiction to adult content for a long time.
And then you have that it's more sensual. You know, it's like it's very sensual, very done in a very artistic way. You know, you slow motion.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, you know,
All
very
right,
exactly.
Jada, Willow, and Adrian talking a little at the Red Table, a new episode that streams Monday on Facebook. Why?
Talking a little more. The ladies get into some heavy conversation though, and props to Willow, who has sat through some serious TMI.
I can imagine if my mama and my grandmama were having some of the conversations that they have had at this table, and you got to get up and instead you give a, wow, yeah. Ooh. And I take that as a signal of like, okay.
Yeah, she can really give some expression.
If I was still on my game, I'd be able to show you some good, because back in the day I had a little addiction.
Jada Pinkett Smith getting candid about her past struggle with porn.
I actually feel like I was using maybe addiction a little lightly, and maybe I will say now that I had an unhealthy relationship to porn at one point in my life where I was trying to practice abstinence.
There are also rumors that will try to speak out against this behavior, but Jada allegedly responded by forcing him to leave the house.
What does that beauty look like for you day in and day out? So are y'all living together?
It's just this beautiful connection. We will.
Look at that.
Not right now.
But you will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's.
Why do you say that with such a
clarity?
Because that's what it's gonna be.
That's where it's headed.
Yeah.
And you both are on that page.
Yeah, and you know, but right now I really do enjoy my space.
Yeah.
You know, I've been living alone. I am my mother's only child.
Yeah.
Right? And so having this time that I've had to myself has been fantastic. Just to get to know me, you know, even to have my house exactly how I want it. I don't have to be like, well, what color do you want this wall? You know what I mean? I can just do it.
You're the chooser.
I'm the chooser.
You're the chooser.
Right.
So when you imagine your life back together, because I'm sure you've seen it, how does that look to you?
We don't know yet.
You'll build that.
We'll build that, and it'll be something new.
This discussion began with Jada laughing about catching Willow watching explicit adult material when she was younger. Most parents would be shocked by something like that, but Jada instead tried to introduce Willow to the type of content she preferred. At some point, many people start to question whether Jada is acting as a responsible parent.
Nothing to do with me. So I was like, okay, so she's just scrolling, and when I tell you I saw some of the most hardcore Tumblr.
Mom, it really wasn't.
It was hard.
It really wasn't.
It was
She's
hardcore for
overreacting.
you to be seeing at freaking 11 years old.
Tumblr,
I could not believe that.
No,
I was
Tumblr
like,
is more of the
kids.
artistic aspect of it, though.
Not what I saw. Well, nothing artistic about that. I saw some
I don't
hardcore
remember
stuff.
what you saw, but
yeah,
what I know
remember graphically.
What I know
was
about
like,
Tumblr.
I was like, Willow, and she was like, don't even pay attention to it. We're getting to my page. I was like, I can't believe kids are exposed to this on a daily basis. I was profoundly disturbed.
But the thing that I will say, though, is that because I had you and Daddy to actually like have real conversations with, that stuff didn't really affect me because I knew I had a connection with people that I could talk to about it and knew like what the reality of it was.
Let me ask you a question, because back in the day, for my generation started in magazines, and then you had to like go to a CD store to get a VHS tape. Like you had to like.
We didn't have access.
We didn't have access to it like that. So if you know, really go on an adventure to go see some. Whereas for your generation, it's on your phone. It's pocket.
Your pocket.
What have you seen in regards to your generation? Do you know boys that are fascinated with, or like who have a specific?
I mean, I have 2 brothers.
Yes,
so
you do.
They're not addicted to.
They're not addicted to, but like I've seen some stuff.
Right.
What?
So,
what is going on?
That's a TMI moment. All right. All right.
She's like, I can't take it.
I can't. I think I'll probably be in too much shock to even converse about.
There are also claims that Jada exposed Jadden to certain things and has openly spoken about being involved in dealing during her younger years. She once said she didn't want to rely on anyone while growing up. According to her, in the streets you either depended on a dealer or became one, and she chose to be the dealer to create the life she wanted.
And recently you've opened up and talked about back in your early days when you were younger, you said that you were a dealer and you said you just decided that this one little piece was important to share.
A bad one at that.
You weren't even a good dealer.
I wasn't a good one.
Oh no.
But you said it was finally time to share. So why was now the time?
Well, I felt like there had been, and still is, a lot of missing pieces to my relationship with Tupac, and I know that there's a lot of intrigue around it, and I know that a lot of times people, you know, kind of connect us romantically, but I think also it was time to share, because I really had an existential crisis in regards to realizing how far I had come, and having started in one place and had come out of a certain lifestyle and watched a friend go into that lifestyle, and always thought, you know, the higher power would bring him through.
Everybody knew that I was very unhappy, but just couldn't figure out why. Because everybody thought how I thought. You've got everything. What is wrong with you? Because I didn't know what was wrong with me either. Because you have to remember, during that time, no one was really talking about mental health.
Yeah. Ayahuasca really was...
That was the turning point.
So that in and of itself turned you from the brink of...
And I never had a suicidal thought again. Now, in saying that, ayahuasca is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to be very clear about that. You have to really have someone who's very trained to guide you through that. It was a very extreme, you know, situation for me, but I swear I'm so grateful that I went through it, because in 4 days, I had 4 excruciating nights, but on the other side, I never...
And you never had a suicidal thought since then?
Never.
Jada and will continue to defend Jada's actions, often giving mixed messages. Whenever rumors surface, they sometimes describe it as an open relationship, then later say it isn't. Fans have noticed that Jada often laughs when the topic comes up, while Will appears emotional. Whenever talk of Jada being with other men returns, people start questioning things again. Some believe that an open marriage may have been a condition Jada set for staying together. At this point, many see a clear pattern. Whether you believe Jaguar Wright's claims or not, one thing stands out. This relationship has been far from typical, and the public likely only sees a small part of what happens behind closed doors. So what do you think? Is Will choosing to stay, or is there more to the story? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more videos like this, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.